LOP in the building. My life been a movie, I should've filmed it. Nicely with the pen game. Pops taught me the spit game. Get your cameras ready, we heavy. Catch when I'm in frame. Produk, opinionated, but I'm coming through smooth with it. I be kicking facts, you could Google it. From the block to the booth, hear the truth, just another lane lock. I'm a Crown Heights legend, still repping the same block. Whoa.
You are now listening to the Life of Produk podcast.
Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Produk. You are now locked into the Life of Produk podcast, episode 3, baby. Let's get it. First, I want to say thank you to everybody that's been rocking with me since day one. I know I'm only 3 episodes in, but y'all support, I really appreciate it, man. It means a lot. You know, you guys show love to episode 1. You guys show love to episode 2. And I'm going to keep this thing going for you guys. So, episode 3, let's get into it. I want to talk to y'all about love. I want to talk about love, man. Love is some shit, right? So, I believe there's different levels to love. I believe there's different tiers to this shit. And I'm gonna keep it real, quote unquote love, to love somebody. From my experiences in life, I don't feel like that's the strongest version of love. I feel like it's a concept that we've been we kind of been force fed that shit. Everything from movies to even in the community, seeing people married, the older generation. You know what I mean? Think about this. Think about how many couples you've known and they've stayed together for the kids. You know, the first thing they tell you is, oh, work it out. The kids need you. Listen, I don't feel like love is what it's portrayed to be. Now, like I said, I feel like there's different levels of love. There's tiers to this shit. So you have love of God. You have love of your children. You have love of your parents. You have love of your siblings / family. You have self-love. Self-love, in my opinion, is the most slept on concept of love, or most slept on level of love. So many people wait till they go through mounds of shit to learn how to love themselves again, when you should have been loving yourself from day one. And I'm speaking from experience, because there was a time in my life I had to relearn how to love myself. I found myself doing a lot on my own, but I'm gonna get into that. Then you have the concept of relationship love, loving a significant other. Now, I don't feel like that's the strongest version of love. I feel like that's the weakest version of love, and I don't feel like it's as real as we think it is. Now, you got love of God. You know, I don't know what y'all, spirituality levels is like. I don't know if you believe in God. I believe in God. And not to preach to y'all, but from the things that I've been through in life, God has got me out of so many situations and put me in way better ones, right? So you have love of God. Love of God that's like a healthy fear that you have to carry. You know, we all fuck up sometimes. Look, I fuck up a lot, and I'm probably gonna fuck up some more after today. But I still know at the end of the day, I get on my knees and I pray every night and every morning when I will open my eyes. So that love of God is there. Then you have love of children. I am a father, and it's one of the scariest, most lit things ever. And I say it's scary because when you wake up every day and you have to care for another life, and you have so many things on the table that you have to consider. You have to go to work. You have to feed them. You have to clothe them. It's scary in the sense that you don't want to fail. This is how much you love this form of life that you've created with someone else. You love this form of life so much, you don't want to fail them. You love them so much that when they go to school, you don't want nothing to happen to them. You love them so much that you want them to pass every exam. You want them to do good. That's love right there. That you would give your last to this child. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story one time, right, real quick. So one time I was talking to my pops, right, and this was years ago. I was probably 10 years old. So I'm the youngest of my siblings. My sister's 11 years older than me. My brother's 8 years older than me. My parents, they had me later. So me and my pops was talking, and he was like, yo, you want to have kids one day? And I was like, yeah, maybe. He was like, yo, this shit is real. He didn't say this shit is real, but he was basically like, yo, this shit is real. So we got to talking, and he was like, yo, let me tell you something. He said, so when your sister was in high school, my sister used to go to, I think she went to Chelsea. So he was like, yo, when your sister was in high school, she last minute came to him and was like, yo, she had XYZ going on. She needed money for this and that. So my pops, my mother was, at the time she wasn't working. She had just finished school. She was stay-at-home mother. So my pops was the breadwinner, bringing the money into the house. So my pops was like, damn, money was tight at the time, but he had to do it. She needed, I forgot what it was for. It might have been something for graduation. I don't know. But the money that she needed, my pops gave her all the money. And my pops told me for the span of 2 weeks, he worked Monday through Friday and he was off Saturday, Sunday. So for 10 days, he walked to work. My pops, we lived in Brooklyn on Crown and Schenectady. My pops worked in Manhattan. So for 10 days, my pops walked all the way from Brooklyn to Manhattan and walked all the way from Manhattan back to Brooklyn just so my sister could have that money for whatever she needed for school. That was his train money. That was his lunch money. But he did it. This is how real love of children is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, you got some deadbeats out there, and I'm not criticizing nobody. I don't know what their their relationship with their children are, or with the mother, or vice versa with the father is. So I'm not criticizing nobody, but us men, us real men, we really love our kids, and we will go to bat for our kids. I worked 70, 80 hours a week. I worked 2 jobs just to support my kids. So love of your children is real. That to me is one of the most realest forms of love. Then you have love of your parents, right? So some people, people, they have fallen outs with their parents. I've known people that have fallen outs with their parents. I've always, thank God, I've always maintained a great relationship with my mother and my father. I've known some dudes who haven't. You know what I'm saying? I've known some. Listen, man, I've known some real piece of shit dudes who, their mothers turn their back on them. On average, everybody's situation is different. But from what I see as a black man, for a black mother to turn their backs on their son, you gotta be a piece of shit, dog. Like, there's some fucked up mothers out there, but from my perspective, the mothers that go to bat for their sons, the sons that I've seen, and the mothers that I have seen that's turned their backs on their sons, he did some real piece of shit. And I hate to say piece of shit, but yo, I'm telling you, it happened. So, love of your parents is real. Our parents, they grow older, and they were basically our teachers or whatever. And there might be situations where you have to teach them. Your parents, it might go from your parents taking care of you after they birth you, raising you, to you taking care of them, because, your parents, they've guided you, and that parental love is real. You might be a grown man, 40, 50 years old, and if your parents are still alive, they're still going to be there to give you some sort of guidance. It doesn't matter how old you are. They might be able to drop a gem on you that's going to get you in or out of a situation to better your life, because they have more experience than you, and them on the outside looking, they're seeing more than you're seeing, than you are from the inside. So then, you have a love of siblings. Now, I love my siblings. I love my siblings very much. We might not agree on everything, but at the end of the day, I love them, and I will go to the moon and back for them. I know some people, that does not apply. I know some people, unfortunately, that have not spoken to their siblings in 10, 20 years. And, shit like that, it saddens me to see that, but I get it. From experiences, even in my own family, from, the older ones, and seeing what they went through, and the fact that they've had fallen outs, I understand it. I totally get it. Shit shouldn't be like that. It should be, especially after, the parents start passing away, and the siblings have to, everybody, they get older, they have their own families, they have jobs, they have careers, they have their lives. But at a certain point, y'all should be able to put that bullshit aside and come together and say, you know what, we're going to do Thanksgiving together this year. We're going to do a family reunion this summer. We'll do 2 family reunions this summer. And even when the other one gets married, y'all should be able to bring both sets of families together. So if you have a brother, you're married, your brother's married, both sets of families should be able to come together and join in some type of union. But unfortunately, it don't always happen like that. So, shit, man, that's something that, I've personally experienced with people, older people in my family. And I hope that one day, before it's said and done, before the sun sets on them, they could all come together and sit and say, you know what, that was bullshit. Let's get back to how we used to be, because things was beautiful. Okay, let's talk about self-love, right? Self-love is the most slept on version of love. And I'm telling you from experience. So I remember years ago, I was in a long-term relationship with my kid's mother, and we broke up. It kind of ran its course. It's all good, but we broke up. I had to refine myself. Literally had to refine myself. So I was going through mental things at the time, not all according to the breakup, but internal things within myself. So I literally sat one day and I sat in my room and I told myself I'm in a very unhappy space. And I was just thinking TV off for like a good strong hour. And I remember later on that day, this was early in the morning. So later on that day, I literally went and I opened up a Planet Fitness account. I opened my gym membership. I started doing things that week from working out, because I was working out at home, but hitting the gym kind of put me in a whole different mind frame. So I started going to the gym, because I hadn't been to the gym in years. Started going back to the gym. I started doing things like once or twice a week, I would do something with myself. Like I started going to the movies by myself. I started going out to eat by myself, things like that. I was already doing fun things with my kids and playing my role, you know what I mean, in co-parenting and things like that. But I needed something for myself. I had to refine myself. I actually went out and I did like a whole new wardrobe. I went shopping. I did all this shit because the self-love aspect had to be reactivated within my life. And not just because I was going through what I was going through, because I was getting older and I needed to have a stronger sense of self. I started reading more. I started doing so many things that helped me find myself again. And I tell people all the time, self-love is something that we overlook it so much. We sleep on that shit. We sleep on it. Self-love is something that not everybody's able to find. It's like a kung fu master trying to find his chi. Not everybody finds that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I remember having a conversation with a dude one time, and we were on a train, and I knew dude, he's a real sucker. I don't fuck with son no more. But I remember son was talking to me, and he was like, "Yo, oh man, I feel like I lost my swag." This was years ago when we were saying swag. Nobody say swag no more. But he said, "Yo, I feel like I lost my swag." He was going through things. His kid's mother left him. He was going through a divorce and things like that. So I didn't really understand this shit at the time. And then literally a year to a year and a half later, I started feeling that same exact way. And I kept replaying that conversation in my head when he told me that. And I remember the pain in his eyes. And I told myself, once I started replaying that, I said, I don't want to fall that deep into it, because I felt like the next step would have been depression. And I did not want to be there. So I started doing all these things to kind of sort of reactivate my happiness. And I did it. And I did that. And I thank God I did that. And I encourage any of you guys listening, I encourage you, do that shit. I have a system, right? So ever since that time period in my life, I kind of came up with a system. I do one thing once a day that makes me happy. 7 days a week. I do 7 things every week, once a day, that makes me happy. So it's little things. It doesn't have to be big, extravagant. I might go to the sushi spot. That'll make me happy on a Wednesday. I might get my favorite cup of coffee on a Monday. That's gonna make me happy. But I have to do something once a day that's gonna make me happy, because that's how much I love myself. So let's talk about the significant other. For beloved, I don't believe that shit is real. I'm gonna tell you why I don't believe. I believe it's a great concept to believe is real. You know what? Let me before I dig deep into that, let me just say this, right? There are people that found their soulmate. They found that person that they love. They will go to the moon and back for that person. That is fucking great. I applaud you. But guess what? I know for a fact you went through a lot of shit to get to that happy place that you found with that person. I'm not saying it's not worth it. I think it is worth it. But not everybody comes out successful in that. So, when it comes to, listen, I've been in relationships, I've dated, I've talked, people back in the day, they be like, yo, we go together. I've done that. I've even been married. That shit ain't work out. So when it comes to love of a significant other, I don't feel like it's as real as the other forms of love, because you can be with a person for so many years. Consider these factors, right? You're with the person 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right? You know, and timing is a strong factor in a lot of this shit. You might have met this person, fell head over heels for that person, but you met them too early. You might have met this person, fell head over heels for that person, but you met them too late. So that's some shit that you got to, time is like the make it or break it, kind of. So consider these things. You meet this person, you've been together 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right? This person has very bad habits. They have habits that don't match yours. Eventually, you guys are going to kind of start breaking apart from each other. If you're with somebody and you work hard, you're working hard, and that person hates going to work, that person wants to stay home, run the light bill up, eat all the fucking food, XYZ, and I'm not saying a woman is doing that, because I've seen men and women do that. It's not just women that want to fucking stay home. There's men that want to stay home. I've seen men in situations and relationships who want to stay home and not even be a stay-at-home dad. They want to just fucking stay home and play NBA 2K all day. I've seen women in relationships and have kids with men where the man just want to stay home. He want to sleep late every day. The woman has to get the kids ready for school, take them to school, go to work, pick them up, come home, cook, clean, and the fucking man just been chilling all day watching fucking Sports Center. So there's a lot of situations you want to consider. Imagine being in a relationship or a marriage with a person and they're bad with money. Now they're fucking up the mortgage money. They're fucking up the rent money. That's going to make y'all break apart. Because I've never in my life seen love that strong to keep a couple together where the finances are bad. There's no romance in brokenness. Ain't no romance in brokenness. So there's a lot of factors that can break apart a couple that are together that are quote unquote in love. Imagine quote unquote being in love with somebody and that person meets somebody new. Now if somebody's caught your eye. I've seen situations where the man and the woman is together, whether marriage or just like, you know, a common law type thing. 2, 3 kids together. The woman's body is not the same how it used to be, but the man is still pretty good shape. He's still looking good. He got a little bit of money. She's home with the kids most of the time. She might work. He might work. He might work more than her. I've seen men in these situations feel like because they're the breadwinner or because the woman is not looking as good, now another woman is catching his eye. Now a younger woman is catching his eye. He want the young girl with the fat ass that don't got a fupa, but because he got wifey at home. I've seen situations vice versa where the man is letting himself go now because he's working so much. He puts all his time and energy into the kids, and the woman ain't feeling that. She want to fly a dude. It's like that song where House Party with Meek Mill and Young Chris. When Young Chris said, "Daddy daycare at home, why you think your chick not?" I've seen that shit. And so it makes me feel like, is significant other love really real? Is it really a real thing? Because put it like this, and this is my opinion, right? If you really love that person, and say if you guys, your finances are decent, you know, you're trying hard, XYZ, is that person really gonna put you in that situation to feel like now, oh, someone else is coming into the relationship, I gotta be on my A game, oh, this person's gonna leave me? You know what I'm saying? Or on the flip side, if that person really loves you and you see your woman working hard, busting her ass at work and with the kids, are you as a man gonna just sit home all day and just, oh, she taking care of this shit, I'ma chill, I'm gonna watch fucking Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless till they argue about LeBron James? Are you gonna do that, or are you gonna get the fuck up and do what you have to do? Because if you love that person, take the kids out the scenario, focus on the person. If he really loves that woman, he's gonna get his ass up and he's gonna do what he has to do. So my question is love real, or is it just a concept? Is it fake? Is it something that we want to be real? Because it has too much potential to break apart. Put it like this, right? Some people look at life like this. Anything that can be taken away from them, they don't want it. I know men and women that in their 40s and 50s that are single because they've done the love thing, and the love thing just did not work for them. Everything went bad. You know what I'm saying? There's people that quote unquote fell in love with a person, put everything into it. Now all they have to show for that is a fucking alimony payment. This shit is not worth it. It is really not worth it. In my eyes, listen, maybe 2-3 years from now, I'm gonna change my mind. If I change my mind, I'm gonna come back, y'all can laugh at me. It's all good. But not to sound bitter about anything like that, but I feel like love comes with different levels and it comes with different tiers. I was speaking to somebody about 7 months ago, and they were telling me about a couple that they know. Like I know the people, but I don't know them like that. So this couple has been together for like, I'd say 20 years they've been together, and they're married and shit like that. And the man literally has like 2 side kids, and they just found out about one of the side kids. Now, if this man, and the situation where the wife was working 2 jobs, bust her ass, XYZ. Now, brings me back to this question. If that man really, really loved that woman, shouldn't he have gotten all of that out of his system? That's shit young boys do. These people are like up there in their age. That's something you do when you 19, 20, 21 years old. You don't do that. 35 and up, you ain't doing that shit. That's not what you're doing. 35 and up, you should be going to work. You should be coming home. You should be working on your credit. You should be working out with your wife. Y'all should be taking trips together with the kids, or y'all should be taking trips by yourselves to clear your head and bring that spark back into the relationship. You shouldn't be running around making babies with other women, bringing drama to your household. You don't do that 35 and up. That's not what you do. But that's why I keep saying, is love a concept, or is it a real thing? Because if that man really, really loved that woman, he would have got all that shit out of his system a long time ago. Not to sound bitter, nothing, but these are the questions that I pose to people. So I feel like love comes in different levels. It comes in different tiers. And I feel like we have to realistically approach the concept of love, or whatever it is, because in my opinion, I feel like you need to love with your brain, not with your heart. When you love with your heart, you have too much potential to strike out. Now, scenario, say if you're 30, this is for the 30 and up club, this question right here, right? 30 and up, boom, bang. 30 and up, you are a female, you have a daughter or a son, or 1 or 2 children, whatever. You're working on yourself, you finish school, you have a degree, or you have a certification, you have a nice credit score of 700, you have your own crib. So say if you're renting, you don't own yet, but you got a car, you own your car, you're renting, you have solid income coming in. Which guy do you go for? Do you go for the dude that look good, he still kind of look young? Or do you go for the dope boy that's out here running around in the street because it's exciting and there's an adrenaline to it? Or do you go with the dude that matches what you're bringing? This is why I say you need to love with your brain, not with your heart. Because for that 30 and up club, when you're looking for somebody to love, you have to look at the whole package. So if you're a woman, this is my advice to women out here listening to me, right? If you're a woman, you got a son, a daughter, or say if you got 2 kids, right? And you're looking for somebody, you're saying, you know what, I'm 30, I want to settle down. Say you have a great relationship with the biological father, so you're not going to get no drama out of whoever you date. You need to be looking to date or settle down with somebody that can match your shit. He needs to match your dopeness. You need to have someone who, if he does have kids, he has a great relationship with the mother of his kids. He needs to have a great relationship with his actual mother, or the women in his family, because how he treats her or them might be how he treats you. So also you need to try to find somebody that matches your finances. And this is some real shit. So from speaking from experience and other experiences that I've seen, it's kind of hard for you to get into a real serious or long-term relationship when you're the only one whose name can go on shit. If you're trying to be with somebody and you're the only one whose name can go on a lease, the fucking mortgage, the light bill, the car note, that is gonna end bad. Because ultimately, if shit go bad, that person might fuck it up for you, and they're not gonna get any repercussions on the legal side or the financial side. So how can you be with someone if your credit is right, you got your own crib, you have potential to buy a house if you already don't own a home, and this person is still trying to find where they want to be, and they're fucking hopping from part-time job to part-time job, hustling in the street or doing side odd jobs just to make ends meet? It's not going to work. And too often we jump into relationships where we look at that and we see potential to save that person. You can't save people out here. Sometimes you gotta let motherfuckers drown and say, I'm gonna go to the person that know how to swim, that know how to paddle, and we're gonna swim next to each other to the shore, because that should be the ultimate fucking goal. But like I said, not to sound bitter, I'm kind of speaking from experience, and I'm speaking from a place where I see now in life to if I see personally, I see where I want to be and I know where I'm gonna be. But if I do want to get there with someone alongside of me, I know what type of person I'm gonna have to look for. And I'm not rushing for that. But that completes the show. I want to say thank you to everybody for rocking out with me on the Life of Product podcast, episode 3. Talk to your boy, Jip.